Good afternoon, and thank you all for joining us. My name is Dr. Melinda Smith, and I'm the Vice Provost on Equity, Diversity, Inclusion, and the Associate Vice President, Research, Equity, Diversity, Inclusion at the University of Calgary. It is my distinct honor to welcome you to the first ever Violet King Engaged Scholar Awards, being held during the significant month of February, which is Black History Month. And the theme of this year's Black History Month is Black Excellence, a heritage to celebrate, a future to build. The Violet King Engaged Scholar Award then is perfectly timed in this moment. It's a celebration of Violet King's story. She was renowned in her high school as a leader, at the University of Alberta as a leader, a student leader, including winning the top award as the Student Union Vice President. She was actively engaged in the community, and she was the first person to complete law school in Alberta and to be called to the bar in Alberta. This award is a commitment to supporting outstanding Black, racialized, and Indigenous students who have demonstrated, like King, significant contributions to their community and leadership, despite sometimes financial and other barriers. They are exemplary, engaged scholars. I want to thank the people behind the scenes who helped to make this award possible. No award like this, no event like this can happen without the collaboration of many people who are often invisible but indispensable. It's a joint initiative between the Student Union and the Office of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. I want to thank the former Student Union Vice President, academic Semha Abraha, who co-created the award with me and thought through the name and the implications. I want to thank the selection committee and the Office of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion team members who supported the selection process, as well as the event today. And finally, I want to thank Quality Money, which has approved funding for this award for the next 4 years. I look forward to seeing the 2020 candidates. The applications are now open. Before we start the award ceremony, I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the traditional territories of the people of the Treaty 7 region in southern Alberta, which includes the Blackfoot Confederacy, comprising the Siksika, Pikunai, and Kainai First Nations, as well as the Tsuut'ina First Nations and the Stoney Nakoda, including the Chinnikes, Bears Paw, and Goodstoney First Nation. The city of Calgary is also home to the Métis Nation of Alberta Districts 5 and 6. Now I would like to introduce Elder Colleen Sitting Eagle, a Siksika language instructor who has worked tirelessly with her community to advance Siksika culture and heritage, language, culture, and heritage since 1992. We are pleased to call Elder Colleen Sitting Eagle a UCalgary alumna and invite her to start us off with a blessing.
Okay, nixo quex, kit connects matsimpo. Okanokistikuya kana kwa moxes kinemats, to kexes kinematsex. Okinisto oxipia natukumiaki, gita taxikaini pamo amuoxin, nitakatsimoik. Hello, everybody. I would like to say hello to all of you. You all look bright and bushy-tailed this morning, not like me, kind of ragged here. We're in a busy month for our students, so I would like to start this awards session with prayer. I'm going to say it in my language, and I'm just gonna touch in on some of the points in my prayer, so you guys know that I'm not just saying words out of the air, but they are blessings upon all of you. Ayo apstuduke anoxistikoig nokapaisti wakina nokapuatoig sinukina namuxinok tokpok muomex Ogi kimma tuusa uku suawex, uts kimman wawex, akiti dame nutia. Ogi kimma tu kinana musini dates katu pinanis, ni topo amuts pinana, muksina pikwex, disksapo okan skukinan, tsitsawais tiwakinan. Ogi kimma tuusa muksas tistumik, so kinitsin katano kuakakanenki. Okinnassa mukinana noksista kuikiamuksi ako kitohtsi matumia nokokaman stupist. Kenäkin okan sitä pokaman stapstuki. I asked for blessings upon all of you. And I asked for what we're going through, even here in Siksika, to bless those people that are suffering under the hands of those people that don't find us equal to them. And the hardest areas that we're fighting right now, I pray that these people will see our hardships. Is the medical field, our hospitals are showing a lot of discrimination for our people, our policing, and they're supposed to be here to protect us. So I ask for prayers that these people understand what we're going through and what everybody's going through out there. And I'm not too sure about these awards and what the main idea for it, but I think it's a universal idea right across the board that we all suffer. And for that, I bless your families. I bless that you walk back in through the doors that you left this morning to greet your families, and all the blessings be placed upon you. I called on my late son to protect me, his father, his sister, his children, and all his nieces and nephews. It's been hard, so I ask for blessings to give me that strength. So in accordance to, that's just a little bit of some of the prayer points that were part of my blessing. I won't be here too long with you, but I usually give a little intro. A lot of new faces I see. It's nice to see you again, Melinda and Tracy. You got, last time I saw you guys, I was overfilled with joy, and you guys took really good care of me, and I felt so included. And the words that I shared with everybody at the conference, I hope they walked away with some of the words and carry on their lives with that. So like I said, in our worlds, we wake up every morning and see what the day will bring and see how the day will end. As for myself, it's cold out here. We've been having really cold spells. I just so you know, I had a full knee replacement surgery in November, and I'm still recovering. I had a bad fall on Monday, but I'm okay. I didn't hurt my injured knee. So with that, I'd like to leave you with words that keep coming up in my head. In fact, somebody mentioned that they were sick. So my late father, who passed away 15 years ago, January 22nd, he always said these words. And these last few days, they've been popping up. So I'm going to share them with you. If you could use those words in your lives, it came from a very honorable elder, and that was my father. He was a World War II vet. He was spiritual elder here in Siksika and all over. And I'm pretty sure he blessed a lot of the buildings at UFC, MRU, Children's Hospital, a lot of hospitals, a lot of educational buildings in Calgary, Edmonton. So my father's words were, through God, all is possible. The Lord works in mysterious ways, and all you have to have is faith. So whatever you're battling, just keep your faith strong. So if these words can help you or anybody else around you, my blessings to all of you. Thank you.
I want to thank you so much for that moving blessing, for helping to start us off in a way that's reflective of this award. Elder Calling Sitting Eagle, we are always honored and privileged to have you with us. As a sign of our gratitude, we would like to offer you this tobacco. We are in different places, presenting from different locations, but we all ensure our gift will be made, make its way to you. And again, thank you as always for helping us to start off in a good way. Wonderful to see you. Thank you. Today's ceremony is a chance for University of Calgary to honor the trailblazing legacy left behind and persists from Violet King, a local Calgarian who went to school here, whose family lived here, and whose family helped to contribute to making Calgary a more inclusive place. Coming from a working class background and paying for her own education through loans and teaching music, an experience many students know today, Violet King demonstrated tenacity, commitment, and a kind of formidable spirit, undaunted by the challenges, driven by a pursuit of excellence, Black flourishing. Her transformative work, leadership, and community advocacy was an inspiration to so many before and now. With the theme of 2024 being Black excellence, a heritage to celebrate, a future to build, I am overjoyed to have so many of you here today to celebrate Violet King's story, her accomplishments, as well as celebrating the diversity of young people on our campus who are following in her footsteps, including our award recipients today. What makes today even more special is the fact that we have Violet King's own daughter, Miss Joanne Henry, joining us, and will be presenting awards alongside our own trailblazing Chancellor, John Cornish, with whom it's always an honor and privilege to serve. Following the award ceremony, Ms. Henry will be closing the award ceremony with a keynote speech, and we hope you are able to join us for that, because she'll be speaking to her mother's legacy from her perspective as her only child. Ms. Henry has demonstrated a strong commitment to her community, like her mother, like her father. She is currently the director of Leads Strategic Impact at the National League of Cities in Washington, D.C., and has previously provided leadership level support for child abuse prevention and environmental justice. Like her parents, she is an award-winning scholar, highly accomplished with degrees from California, Berkeley School of Law, and MAs from Georgetown University School of Business. We are also very lucky to have our Chancellor here. Chancellor John Cornish is most known as the Canadian Football Hall of Famer, but also a leader in the community and as an investment advisor and lead at Royal Bank, RBC Dominion Securities. He's also a mentor and sponsor of, and to many. The work that he does support multiple Calgarian charities, students, nonprofit acts as the President Emeritus and founder of the Calgary Black Chambers. So without further ado, I'm now honored to bring to our virtual floor our own trailblazing Chancellor, John Cornish.
Beautiful. Hey, thank you so much, Melinda, and thank you for having me at today's award ceremony, the first ever Violet King Award ceremony. I'm so happy to be here for the inaugural Violet King Engaged Scholar Awards at the University of Calgary as the University of Calgary's Chancellor, the first Black Chancellor in the university history. And I think it's so important that we're having an award show today, because we're not here to only celebrate academic excellence, but also recognize and applaud the outstanding commitment to student engagement and leadership to advance a more equitable and inclusive university and community demonstrated by the 6 remarkable individuals who have been chosen as the first recipients of this prestigious award. I was told that the investment selection committee received over 120 applicants for this award, and this number alone shows how dedicated our students are to supporting Calgary's community, despite facing financial and other barriers. Each of these winners has a profound impact on our campus and the wider community with their engagement, making a positive difference both at Calgary and beyond. It's great with great pride that I sit here alongside Miss Joanne Henry, the daughter of Violet King Henry, to recognize these individuals. I will say this, we do have a Calgary Black Chambers Award named after Violet King Henry, and it's important that we remember the stories of those that came before us so we can pass them on and continue the storytelling and remembering these heroes that broke barriers before us. Our winners have demonstrated, just as Violet King has, that the pursuit of knowledge goes hand in hand with a commitment to making tangible difference in the lives of the people around them. And through them, we see the embodiment of the values of the University of Calgary, values of inclusivity, kindness, generosity, and the belief that education is a powerful tool for positive change. From volunteering to support refugees, to newcomers, to all Canadians, advancing equitable healthcare, each one has contributed in unique and interesting ways, impactful ways. They've created support networks for those in need, shown compassion for others, and have driven others to do the same. They've shown us that being an engaged scholar is a powerful force for transformation. As we celebrate these outstanding individuals today, let us also recognize that their achievements are a testament to the collective spirit of our university community. The University of Calgary is committed to fostering an environment that values diversity and inclusion. And we're seeing that through so many students coming to our institution and going on to make the world a better place. So thank you all for attending today, and let's get into the first award recipient. It is my great pleasure to announce the first winner of the 2023 Violet King Engaged Scholar Award. Misgana Abraha. Misgana is a concurrent student under the Faculty of Sciences and the Werklund School of Education. She's currently working in the field of pediatric epilepsy and also researching barriers for Black students who are pursuing STEM-related fields. Misgana is committed to making a difference for the next generation. She also volunteers with the Eritrean Canadian Community Association, where she mentors high school students. And during the pandemic, she also supported Calgary Immigrant Women's Association with essential translation services for Eritrean women. Thank you for all you have done, Misgana. And congratulations on being a most deserving recipient of this award.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, member of the selection committee, I am deeply honored and grateful to stand before you as the recipient of this honorable award. This recognition is not just a personal triumph, but a collective victory for marginalized Black students in education. My heartfelt thanks to the committee for acknowledging the pivotal role of diversity and inclusion in academia. In a world marred by systemic racism, this award symbolizes resilience, determination, and the pursuit of academic excellence. In the words of Violet King Henry, you have to be determined, you have to be persistent, and you have to work very hard. Samar and Dr. Smith, your examples have been my guiding lights, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to follow in your footsteps. My journey is fueled by a passion for making a tangible impact in the field of healthcare, particularly in understanding and addressing the challenges faced by individuals with epilepsy. This award strengthens my resolve to contribute meaningfully to medical research and practice. My goal is to pursue medical school where I can further explore innovative solutions and advocate for those whose voices are often unheard. With the support of the scholarship and the guidance of my mentors, I'm excited to embark on this journey towards a career dedicated to improving the lives of others. Thank you for being a part of my story and for joining me in this pursuit of excellence and impact. Thank you.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Joanne Henry. I'm Violet King's daughter, and I appreciate the introductions I've had already so far today. And I am so happy and honored to be here. I'm also hoping that I can get through all of this without crying, because already the first awardee, her story is so touching already, and I'm so impressed already that hopefully I can get through this without crying on camera. I am really thrilled. I'll have more comments later, but I'm really thrilled to be able to introduce the second award winner. It is my honor. Our next recipient is Victory Abraham, and I want to congratulate Victory. Victory is a fourth-year law and society student in the Faculty of Arts. She's planning to pursue her passions in criminal justice, social justice, and race-based data as a lawyer, which I have all of that I love. As the co-president of the Ethiopian and Eritrean Students Association, Victory demonstrates leadership in her work and volunteering and mentors Black youth and children in Calgary. She's also obtaining a mental well-being and resilience certificate, which I am also so excited about. Please join us in congratulating Victory on this very well-deserved award.
I am filled with immense honor and gratitude in receiving the Violet King Engaged Scholar Award. I want to express my deepest thanks to the award committee in choosing me as a recipient. I applied to this award because of the significant financial support and who Violet King is to me, which is a role model since high school. Violet King is among the many influential Black women that represent what it looks like to be Black, a woman, low income, and pursue law. People told her it wasn't a good idea for a girl to be a lawyer, particularly a colored girl, so she went ahead. She wanted to make a difference and went after her dreams no matter how far-fetched they seemed at the time, which has empowered me in my work and goals. As someone who envisions contributing to the global liberation of Black people and inspiring change, I hold Violet King's words and story close to my heart. This award has allowed me to represent my community and has given me the financial aid to focus on school and my community involvement. The work being done by the University of Calgary is applaudable, and I look forward to seeing all that is to come. Again, thank you to the Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Office, the University of Calgary, and Semhar Abraha and her team who were committed to the creation of this award. Thank you.
Incredible. And our next recipient of the 2023 Violet King Engaged Scholar Award is Pelumi Adeosun. Pelumi is a law and society co-op student in the Faculty of Arts who holds a strong passion for advocacy and inclusion for Black immigrants and women. As a community leader, she has acted as a vice president of the Nigerian Students Association and has undertaken numerous peer mentorship roles as a student in the Scholars Academy program. After graduating law school, she hopes to use her legal expertise to continue supporting underserved communities. Thank you for all your hard work, Pelumi, and congratulations on receiving the Violet King Engaged Scholar Award.
I'm deeply honored and excited to accept the Violet King Engaged Scholar Award from the University of Calgary. I would like to express my sincerest gratitude to the donors who made this possible and to Violet King herself for pioneering inclusivity in the field of law that I and many other Black women are now able to take advantage of. I'm also thankful for the support of my colleagues, my peers, and my mentors who have been instrumental in shaping and encouraging my work and my academic pursuits. I'm also grateful to Semhar Abraha, who embodied the character of Violet King herself when she advocated for the creation of this award. These initiatives by individuals like Semhar continue to empower aspiring Black female lawyers, such as myself, and I hope to mirror the same courage and dedication and determination that was shown by these women that came before me. Being recognized through this award has been a testament to the value of community engagement and the impact it can have. In my life, this award serves as a reminder of the importance of collaboration, empathy, and a dedication to addressing real-world challenges. I have felt greatly supported and reinvigorated in pursuing my passions in advancing sociological and legal knowledge and making lasting contributions to the world. Thank you to the University of Calgary and to the selection committee for this incredible honor, for their commitment to encouraging engaged scholarship, and for recognizing the efforts of BIPOC students. I'm truly grateful and motivated to continue my work as an engaged scholar, carrying with me the spirit of Violet King as I do. Thank you.
It is now with great pleasure that I get to congratulate our next award recipient, Tolu Adewole. As a student in the Faculty of Nursing, Tolu is committed to social justice and working with underrepresented populations. Throughout her studies, Tolu was engaged in research activities related to equitable healthcare. Specifically, Tolu's research activities have involved developing a guide to aid nurses in finding and feeling veins in patients with different skin tones and colors. Her goal is to positively impact the lives of others and contribute to equitable healthcare through research, innovation, and advocacy. Congratulations, Tolu, on your very well-deserved award and incredible path that you are on.
I'm truly honored and grateful for the recognition bestowed upon me by the 2023 EDI Adjudication Committee. This award signifies not just a personal achievement, but a collective commitment to building a diverse, inclusive, and equitable society, a society that will be strengthened by embracing our differences. In a world marked by miserable and desperate places, passivity becomes violence, a cancer that spreads when those with the means and voice choose to do nothing in the face of injustice. So I am deeply thankful to the University of Calgary and the Office of Equity, Diversity and Inclusion for their pivotal role in taking a stand against these issues. Thank you so much. While acknowledging the work that lies ahead in the realms of EDI, I am inspired by the positive impact I have witnessed in my role as a student nurse. Last summer, my quality improvement project aimed at teaching nursing students how to insert intravenous catheters in people with dark skin received overwhelming support. My sincerest appreciation to Dr. Kara Sealock, the Pew Awards, and the entire Faculty of Nursing for recognizing and empowering this vision. As we navigate this path, let us use our voices, our privileges, and our means to create a world where everyone is seen, heard, and valued. I encourage your commitment to EDI, and I thank you for your interest, and together I believe we can create an equitable society that celebrates diversity. Thank you so much.
Hello again. We're rolling through here real fast. I want to take a sec to recognize the truly outstanding individuals we've selected so far. I am so proud to be part of an event like this, where we have the chance to really recognize, highlight, and tell the stories of outstanding UCalgary students. I'm reminded of the time when I first hosted the Calgary Black Achievement Awards in my basement with my wife live producing it on YouTube. We had a great time, but it wasn't about so much the things we were doing in the basement, but these incredible stories that were being written throughout Calgary. And that's what I'm reminded of here today. We have a diverse set of students at UCalgary, but it is so important to tell the stories of those whose stories might not otherwise be told. Just like our next recipient of the 2023 Violet King Engaged Scholar Award, Yvette Adewole. A medical student at the Cummings School of Medicine, Yvette is motivated to address gaps in healthcare prevalent in underserved communities. At the University of Calgary, Berkeley, where Yvette was a magna cum laude graduate, she volunteered as a Tagalog health interpreter and spearheaded the Hygiene Heroes group to support vulnerable populations. She also co-founded the Calgary Asian Medical Students Association to advocate for newcomer health. When you have people changing the narrative, coming into a place where there might not be a space for them, Yvette and all of our other recipients have created space for newcomers and new Calgarians. So thank you for all you have done, Yvette, and congratulations on receiving this award.
Thank you to the members of the Violet King Engaged Scholar Award Adjudication Committee. I am deeply grateful to be chosen alongside such an inspiring group of individuals. This award recognizes the university's unwavering commitment towards celebrating the unique talents and contributions of its underrepresented students. I believe that diversity is our strength, and I have witnessed its transformative power firsthand within our university and in the field of medicine. As a medical student, I see that fostering diversity allows us to achieve cultural humility when engaging with patients, reduces healthcare disparities, and allows us to gain an understanding of the unique beliefs and challenges faced by individuals from a variety of cultural backgrounds. In our journey towards equity and inclusion, each one of us plays a crucial role. I encourage fellow students to get involved in student organizations advocating for equity, diversity, and inclusion. With the rising tide of immigration to Canada and Alberta, it becomes imperative to recognize and address the challenges faced by immigrant populations as they settle into their new lives. Let us not only think locally, but also globally, acknowledging the positive impact we can collectively make and the injustices that continue to persist around the world. Together, we can create a future where every individual, regardless of race, gender, or socioeconomic status, has the opportunity to thrive and contribute their unique talents to society. A reality where inclusion is not just a goal, but a lived reality. Again, thank you to the University of Calgary, the Office of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion, and the Faculty of Medicine for continuing to celebrate its students. Lastly, thank you to my family, mentors, and others who have continued to support me on my journey thus far.
This is such a phenomenal group. It just continues to be overwhelming to me what an honor it is and how excited I know that my mom would be that these awards are given in her honor. And it is now my great pleasure, also sadness because this is the last final winner, but it is my great pleasure to announce the final winner of the 2023 Violet King Engaged Scholar Award, and that is Sinait Johannes. With an academic background in criminal justice, Sinait is a student in the Faculty of Law, currently in her final year of law school. She is the co-president of the Black Law Students Association and is growing a strong community, providing mentorship and increasing opportunities for other Black law students. Sinait has worked for the Calgary Transit as well as Stikeman Elliott LLP, where she has officially accepted an articling offer. And I do believe I've met Sinait before. And so congratulations, Sinait, on receiving this award.
Violet King's story is one that resonates with me on a personal and a professional level. I'm also a born and raised Calgarian, a Black woman, and an aspiring lawyer who's in law school right now. I think of all the challenges and the barriers that I deal with as a Black woman in law school, and I think of her story, the resiliency and the tenacity that she must have had to ignore the noise, ignore the racial and gender barriers, and craft the exact future that she wanted for herself. So looking at this, I'm able to refocus and think of the bigger picture and the goals that got me in law school in the first place. And this award in her name has also allowed me to do that. It's allowed me to focus on doing well in my last semester. And it's allowed me to take on a study abroad opportunity, which I would not have been able to do otherwise. So I am so thankful for the selection committee giving me this recognition in her name. And I am committed to continuing this work that we do at the BLSA every single day now and well into my career.
So amazing. I didn't want it to stop. I lost for words in a way, but I want to take the opportunity to thank our Chancellor, John Cornish, and Ms. Joanne Henry, and the extraordinary inaugural recipients of the Violet King Engaged Scholar Award. I want to pause for a moment and think of, and on the historicity of this moment with our first Black Chancellor and the youngest, who has won awards and is trailblazing also in the financial sector. I want to acknowledge Ms. Joanne Henry, who is also a lawyer and trailblazing like her mother in various spheres in sectors, and the award recipients, spectacular students whose, as Chancellor Cornish pointed out, whose stories do need to be told, and hopefully they uplift and inspire other students who may be doing similar kinds of work, unrecognized, but they're doing it for the right reasons and to help transform their societies. thank you to all of you for making this a very special award ceremony. I want to thank the Student Union for its collaborative spirit. I want to thank the OEDI team, the comps and events team, and the Quality Money for making this award ceremony possible. Again, I say, sometimes you see in the spirit of Ubuntu, you see some of us visible or on the stage or in front of the screen, but we stand on the shoulders of giants, those who are doing all of the work, who are enabling us to be here. So at least we forget there are many people who make these kinds of events possible. We're thankful for them. And I'm deeply grateful to hearing every single student highlight how they too are uplifted by the many. Thank you to everyone who participated in today's ceremony and joining us to celebrate Violet King and the 6 recipients of the 2023 Violet King Engaged Scholar Awards. Now I very much looking forward to the next step as we congratulate the winners. I'm also encouraged to see this diverse community of leaders who continue to dismantle barriers, overcome challenges, and celebrate victories here at the University of Calgary. They have started something. They are making a difference. We now have a special keynote from Ms. Henry. Ms. Henry will be sharing a new perspective of Violet King's story, and we are extremely lucky to have her. Let me say a little bit more about Ms. Henry. She is the daughter of Violet King and Henry and Godfrey Henry, who were both attorneys and, as she puts it, spectacular parents. Ms. Henry is currently the Director of Lead Strategic Impact at the National League of Cities in Washington, D.C. Previously, she held leadership positions in the District of Columbia Public Schools, D.C. Child Welfare System, the State of Georgia's Child Welfare System, Director of Community-Based Child Abuse Prevention Strategy called Community Partners for Protecting Children, and one of the first lawyers at an environmental justice pro bono law organization called Alternatives for Social and Environment, ACE. Ms. Henry received a JD from University of California, Berkeley School of Law, and an MA from Georgetown University School of Business. She currently resides in Washington, D.C. with her teacher husband and their teen daughter, who wants to be a child psychologist when she gets older. Ms. Henry Joanne is thrilled to be with us to recognize and celebrate her mother, and we are honored to have her here as our keynote speaker for this inaugural Violet King Engaged Scholar Award. Joanne.
Thank you so much, Dr. Smith. And I need to start this off by saying that I first met Dr. Smith because really, this would go back, this is probably 5 years ago. You know, I'm a child of the 80s. And so even though I come along with technology, there's a lot about technology I still don't really understand. And it never really occurred to me to Google my mom until around 5 or 6 years ago. And Dr. Smith's work and some writings that she did on my mom were some of the first things that I found online. So it is not only an honor to be here because of the awards and because of the legacy of my mom that you're all honoring, but I just have to thank you, Dr. Smith, specifically for your wonderful coverage of my mom's history and accomplishments. I really appreciate that. So it's a complete honor to be here. And I'm just going to briefly share one of the other big honors of the last 5 or 6 years is that so much more attention has been paid to my mother and her legacy. And I think in that I've gotten to speak about her quite a bit. There's been quite a few things written about her. So I know that there's a lot of information out there about her. It's my honor, and especially after listening to the amazing award winners talking about what their history is and what they're inspired by and what they hope to achieve, it really is fantastic to just be able to share a few more personal things about my mom and about who she was that allowed her to achieve what she achieved. So I have 3 things that I wanted to share about why my mom and her history is such a beautiful match with an award that seeks to do what this award is doing. The first is, and I believe Dr. Smith mentioned this a little bit, but my mom, after being the first in her family to finish high school and then be admitted to college, she almost didn't make it. She almost didn't get to go to University of Alberta because the financial plan that she had did not work. It fell through. And only because she worked and gave, because a church member agreed to help her pay tuition for the first year, only if my mom paid her back every single penny. And my mom did that. She worked, she gave piano lessons, and she worked through all of her time at University of Alberta, but she paid back every penny of that loan. But it was that loan that allowed her to go ahead and matriculate in the first place. So again, any award or bursary or scholarship that allows those who have the will and have made it to the point of being able to go to college, but can't make that extra step because of the finances. Anything that enables that and facilitates students getting to live their dreams and become who they see themselves as becoming or exceed their dreams is completely in my mom's legacy. And I'm so excited about that. One other thing to say, and many of you may know this, is that in her senior year of high school, in her yearbook, my mom says, one of the only Black faces in her whole high school book, my mom said, "I want to be a criminal lawyer." And I think I always ask audiences to just pause and imagine, you know, your chancellor, your wonderful chancellor, who was co-presenting just now, and you know, my mom and so many amazing Black heroes who've accomplished so much already that people can look up to, and the way people talk about looking up to my mom. I just asked to think back and imagine, literally, there were no lawyers. I think there had been a Black male lawyer by then, but my mom didn't see him. There was nobody visible that looked like my mom at all in the law field, at all. And somehow she still in high school said, "I want to be a criminal lawyer." And then she went on to do that. And that is astounding. And what it takes for somebody to have that kind of spirit is what all of you have, what all the awardees, I'm sure what everybody who applied to get the award and may not have been able to receive one, you all have this, you all have this. And just the fire that is catching on and continues to catch on from generation to generation of being able to look around and not necessarily see either who you want to be or what you want to be or see the work you want to do, but know that it's accomplishable or that you can move forward and get it. That's who these awardees are, and that's who my mom was. The second thing that really so perfectly aligns my mom and her legacy with this award is just that she was deeply, deeply committed to developing leadership. She did this all the time throughout her career. There's many examples I could give, but I think some of the ones that I heard the most when I was old enough to sort of be absorbing them was how often she would visit branches of the YMCA, which is where she ended up working after she left Canada. And she would meet people. They might literally be the custodial staff who were cleaning the buildings. They might be someone's assistant, someone's secretary. They might be a parent who was dropping their teenagers off. And she would just see something and start talking to them and encourage them. And the number of directors of branches of Ys, the top person that I met who had started because as a custodian or as somebody's secretary or as a parent, and maybe, and a few times as young people who went to the Y and then grew up, the number of times that I met people in leadership positions who my mom had met when they were doing something and didn't necessarily see themselves as leaders yet. There were so many, and those were the ones that I met. There were so many more that I didn't get to meet. And that went on through all of her careers. So that's another reason that this is so beautiful and that students are getting a chance to facilitate their education and achieve their dreams through this. And then one of the last things that I noticed about this award that really excited me is that it is available to students who are studying many different subjects. And it's what I would consider almost like a multidisciplinary award. Many of you who are awardees mentioned all the different intersections of things that you want to do. Healthcare equity, which combines so many things. You're doing all these amazing things in your communities already, and there are different kinds of work that build on each other. This idea of multidisciplinary work and an approach to both developing yourself and then also thinking about your career is amazingly powerful. And it is a lot of what my mom saw and did, and the way that she worked with so many different kinds of people and so with so many different kinds of professionals, but also community members who didn't necessarily, the rest of the world didn't necessarily see as professionals, but she did, because she knew that they knew their lives and their lived experience. And that if anything was going to get better, we needed to rely on their wisdom. My mom knew that. And so the way that she kind of combined different disciplines in her approach to just about everything really does mean that this award is wonderful, that it is for students who are studying a bunch of different topics. So kudos to University of Calgary on that. And thank you so much for working that in. Just a couple more things I want to share about my mom. And I'm going to build on the idea of multidisciplinary approaches to things. In a lot of ways, my mom parented that way as well. There was, she parented by example. She really did. I didn't even really understand what she had accomplished for the time that she was alive. When she died and I was 16 years old, I didn't really at all understand, because she didn't really talk about it. She didn't hide it, but she didn't, talk about it that much unless other people brought it up. And I just can say for sure, though, that she absolutely parented and led by example. So one quick story I would like to tell you is that when I was 10 years old and I was going from the 4th grade to the 5th grade, my mom got a promotion in the YMCAs and broke another glass ceiling. This is when she became the first woman ever of any race and the first Black person ever, male or female, to be on the National Board of YMCAs, which is the governing board of YMCAs. And a lot of people don't know that the YMCA, at least at the time, was the 2nd largest charity in the United States, next to the United Way, which means that it was a huge company and there was a lot of funding and programming. And it was a huge, massive network. And she was the first woman ever and the first Black person ever to be on this national board. And so we were moving from Chicago to New York. And long story short, I am 10 years old. I have now changed cities. I've changed schools. I was very unhappy about this whole thing. And she made me a deal. She said, I will pick where we live in New York and you pick where you go to school. And the school that I picked, of course, she vetted the schools that I got to choose from, but I picked a school. And my commute at 10 years old in New York City, as a newcomer to New York City, but also as a 10-year-old, my commute was about an hour and 35 minutes from the door of our house to the door of my school. And it involved one electric bus ride, one aerial cable car ride from the little island called Roosevelt Island in Manhattan, near Manhattan, that we lived on, an aerial cable car over the East River to Manhattan, and then 2 more buses to get to my school. And that was my commute at 10 years old. And my mom did it with me for a couple of months before she went to work. And then I did it on my own. And I started exploring New York City by bus by myself at 10. And I think her encouraging that was a lot of like what her parenting looked like. Like she trusted me, made sure that the route was safe, and then she let me fly. And so that was a lot the way my mom is. I'm not totally sure how much time I have left, but there is one other thing that I really want to say about who she was and where we are in, there was one more thing about the multidisciplinary work. Because of the way my mom parented, I do have a law degree, and we did start a pro bono nonprofit environmental justice law office that's still open 25 years later in Boston, Massachusetts. And we're really proud of that. While we did that environmental justice work, we taught in schools, and I felt called to working with young people who had been through a lot. I felt called kind of away from the environmental justice and called to, I didn't think of it as child welfare at the time, but it became child welfare because I was working in schools and seeing students who I thought, yes, I know that what happens outside of the school building affects them, but I saw students not able to receive their educations because they had so much on their minds and they were going through so much. So that led me to a career in child welfare, but I was stubborn and I decided I didn't necessarily want to go back to school. So I ended up working in a lot of jobs that gave me a lot of amazing experience dealing with the intersection between child welfare, juvenile justice, public health, and public education. And through that work and working very closely with community, I actually became a child welfare person and then leader. And I left the state of Georgia as the director of social services for Georgia's whole child welfare agency and moved to DC to run half of DC's foster care agency. And as far as I know, I was good at it. That's what I was told. And it just goes to show you that lived experience and work experience is incredibly meaningful. And it also means don't limit your options of what you might be able to do just because you don't have a degree in something yet or ever, and just because you're not sure you know anybody else who's like you who does what you want to do. If you see that it's what you want to do and you know that, start talking to the people who do it well and ask them what they think you should do and what the stepping stones are, and you will find your way. And it doesn't necessarily always have to look like the path that's most traveled that other people take. So I guess I wanted to share that that is part of her legacy, is that I have turned into a professional who has been hired in several jobs that if you looked at my resume, you might say, that's interesting. I don't know that I would have thought that that was something she'd be good at, and just kept building and building. And I feel very grateful for that. I'm just going to wrap with the last thing I wanted to say, which is that, and I remember that one of the awardees is getting, and I'm not going to remember the exact title of what she's doing, but it's about wellness. It's about getting a wellness and resilience certificate, I believe it was. And I just can't emphasize enough, and I want to close on this, that, you know, my mom's been called a trailblazer so many times. And if you look at pictures of my mom, every single photograph that exists that I've seen in the public eye, she is smiling. She is flawlessly dressed because her mom was a tailor and an amazing seamstress. And she just always looks well. She always looks happy, and she always looks positive. And she was that kind of person. That is who she was, but not always. I mean, no human is always those things. But when you also think about trailblazing, literally, if you're blazing a trail through a forest, you got a machete, you're whacking, you're literally trying to cut through forest and trees and branches, and there's wild animals that might eat you, and you're fending off poisonous insects. I mean, trailblazing is incredibly hard work. It's dangerous work. It's exhausting work. And you don't come out of it, if you were wearing a suit when you went into it, that suit is not in good shape when you come out of blazing a trail. And yet my mom had this demeanor. And so if people often ask me, you know, what do I wish I could talk to her about? I would love to know what it took for her to show up that way when she was facing so many obstacles and so many people telling her she shouldn't do what she was doing. She couldn't do what she was doing. She better not do what she was doing. She got, you know, people attempting to pull her down all the time. And yet she showed up that way. And what does it take to have the mental health and the wellness, and what does it take to take care of yourself to do that and to be a trailblazer? And I always want to bring that up and encourage everybody who is paying attention to this webinar, no matter what you do, to please, please make sure you know that mental health and wellness are not luxuries. They feel like luxuries, especially to Black people and people of color and Indigenous people. They seem sometimes like something we can't afford because it's so hard to come by and we have so many stresses and so many obstacles. But it is not only not a luxury, it's a necessity. And it is your due. It is every human's due to feel well, to be healthy as much as possible. Of course, so many people are working towards health equity because it's not so easy to achieve health sometimes and to get the healthcare you need. But really, my mom, I believe she really understood that, and she believed it was so important to take care of yourself. So please do take care of yourselves. Thank you so much for having me. And I wish you all well. And thank you for this award in her name.
I want to thank you, Joanne, for such a moving and powerful keynote conversation about your mom, the stories, the real stories, the heart stories, also of the journey that you had with her, but how also her legacy lives on in you. I think she would be very proud that of who you've become and what you have accomplished. And I think all of these students who have been recipients of this award today, I hope this will be an experience and a moment they will never forget. I certainly will never forget it. And in the way that I never forgot when you reached out to me when I was writing those stories about Violet King. And I was almost didn't want to know how to respond back to you. So it's important. And I thank you for being here with us. And I think my colleagues and I at University of Calgary are grateful that we are able to honor your mom and honor you in this way. And I know that the recipients, you have not met them in person, but they are thrilled that you're here to be with them as they receive these awards. And you met our trailblazing chancellor. So this is a moment in time that I think will be unforgettable. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's also Black History Month. I often joke it's the coldest and shortest month, but this month, this year, we are celebrating Black excellence. But that Black excellence is there all the time. For all of us who were inspired by Violet King, who said, they told me I couldn't, so I went ahead, or who said that, you know, Black and Japanese and Chinese women have to work twice as hard to get half as far. We know that Black excellence is an inextricable part of our approach to what we do. And so it is being recognized this year, and I'm grateful. But this is also about Black futures, as you highlight. That whatever we do today, including health and well-being, it is about ensuring Black flourishing and Black futures. Not just past, but the past builds upon and extends to the futures. And I think when we say we are starting something at University of Calgary, what we want to do is to ensure of the flourishing of this gen, but also future generations. We want to be ahead of tomorrow, is literally what we say. And I hope that's what we're doing. And I hope it's what you have helped us to do with your stories, with who you are and what you're doing. So thank you for you. Thank you for your mom. And thank you for recognizing our students this way.
Such an honor. Such an honor.
Yeah.
For me and for my mom.
So with this commitment to remembering stories in mind, I want to speak more to Black History Month just a wee bit before we close out with this remarkable event. Black Canadians, Black Albertans have contributed ideas, innovations, culture, and more. On our website, we have Black Albertans you should know. Of course, Violet King is key among those people. But we also highlight Joseph Lewis. We highlight Eleanor Ruth Collins, who people remember Nat King Cole had a show named after him, but Eleanor Collins here in Canada had the Eleanor Collins Show. The First Lady of Jazz, she was born in Edmonton. Annie Saunders was a Black woman who came from the States, was an entrepreneur, had a laundromat, a restaurant, did extraordinary things. They were all part of that Black pioneering generation. So Violet King's parents were part of that generation. And all of these, many of these names I'm mentioning were part, I mean, it's an extraordinary group of people, individually and collectively. We should know their names. We should know their stories. And that's one of the things we are committed to at University of Calgary, making visible all of the trailblazers who have made our lives in Calgary and in Alberta what it is today. We stand on the shoulders of giants. So I want to thank all of you who are here. I want you to take the opportunity to learn more about the contributions of Black Calgarians, Black Albertans, and Black Canadians. Not just for historical purposes, but to recognize that we want their memories and their legacies to inspire us into the future. I encourage you to participate in these events. Check out our website, attend activities in the city of Calgary. The Calgary Black Chambers have extraordinary events. And as the Chancellor noted, they also have an award, a scholarship named after Violet King. And so you could be a double Violet King winner if you try. Many more panels, workshops are happening, including hosted by the Black Law Students Association, as well as talks hosted on campus and externally. Just check out our Violet King Engaged Scholar Award on Black History Month, because we are open now for the next cohort of winners. And once again, to each of you, thank you for attending this inaugural Violet King Engaged Scholar Awards. Thank you to our inaugural recipients, and thank you for all of those Black, Indigenous, people of color, racialized students entering their second, third, or fourth year, first-generation students who are committed to making a difference in their lives, in their communities, and in our world. Thank you for being you. Keep on doing what you're doing. Stay inspired. Keep your eyes on the prize. And remember, self-care is important to all of this work. Thank you. Happy Black History Month. Have a good day.